Hello and welcome back to Behind the Curve Collecting. It's been a short while, I do apologise. Today, first impressions and a little talk about Star Trek Invasion for PlayStation 1. Let's get into it. So behind me, I think we've got the intro to Star Trek Invasion, a game which I, for some reason, have two of. Thankfully, a very short story. Royal Mail said they delivered it. They hadn't at all. And such was my desperation to get a copy and just try and get out a video on the channel. I got another one on Vinted, and then Kelsey Breeze in the same day. I now have two. Such is life. And yeah, have a little look at the cover and tell me whether you think it looks Star Trek. There is a very small Star Trek right at the top there, which kind of looks like it's half purposely in the space bit where it kind of blends in. On the face of it, you just see Invasion, there's a mothership and there's like a load of fighters. Okay, cool. And they're arching projectiles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but off the top of my head, Star Trek, everything goes in straight lines. Yeah? Phasers, torpedoes, all in straight lines. So straight off the bat, you're thinking, okay, half-assed, third party, they've somehow got the Star Trek name attached to this. Yeah, all right, it's probably gonna be crap. It's like £5 if you want a copy of this. However, it is a Star Trek game. They do have Picard and Worf lending their voices to it, as you might be able to see in the background, hopefully not hear too loudly. Worf is kind of like your trainee line manager, as it were. And Picard basically tells you the story as it unfolds. That's bright, thank you so much. But this is made by the same developers that made Colony Wars. I believe that was a trilogy. I've got the first one, I do need to play it. And you can tell that they were people that have already done this before, because it looks good and it handles well, it's responsive. It's much more than just going around and just shooting. You've got different shooting options, you've got tractor beams, evasive maneuvers, you can roll left and right. Complete 3D space as you would expect in a space fighting sim, as it were. And it's good. On first impressions, like, wow, this is really good. I wish I had a larger CRT. Yes, I will get around to actually responding to the comments. Head's just been elsewhere recently, and when that happens, content doesn't come and I don't get on my channel actually responding to stuff. So thank you for all the comments I have been getting recently. Yes, I am gonna basically just turn the shed into like CRT Central, because I do need a bigger one now. Better start saving. But yeah, it's not the most Star Trek game. Now, it came out in 2000, a late life cycle PS1 game. So it does look good. It does take advantage of the analog controls of the controller. Thank God it needs it, and it works well. But I don't know if it flew under the radar at the time. Now, I would have been like 10 years old. I used to always see kind of like the PC Star Trek games, and you look at the artwork and you go, wow, it looks really good. And then you look at the back of the gameplay and you're like, not so sure it's going to be for me. Didn't have a PC at the time, at least one that's probably not going to run that kind of stuff very well. I'll stick to my consoles. I never picked this up. I never got it from Blockbuster or anything, never rented it. So yeah, I guess I never really looked at it too hard, because at the time I would have been watching Voyager, and that probably would have been around the end of the run for Voyager. So yeah, immediately in the intro, so I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go into demo mode. I'm pretty sure this PS1, the secondary PS1, is now failing as well. It's making a racket, so I need to try and like clean the lenses before I look into actual proper servicing repairs. So I'm going to turn that off. I tell you, PS1s and stuff is not going well for me at the moment, but it is definitely my favourite console. Is that right, of the Mega Drive? Yeah, it's my favourite console. It was my first console, the PS1, so it makes sense that it's my favourite console of the retro 90s to early 2000s era. But yeah, I never picked it up, never played it. Just looking at it, you can just go, ugh. But immediately it introduces Borg as like a big baddie. I got to the mission where I have to like destroy a Borg cube.
I can't believe there is a Borg cube. What?
And I'm just like, I'm doing like barely any damage. And I think I got destroyed in the end. I was just there, I was like back and forth, because it's not so straightforward, thank God. It's not so shallow that you're just shooting your phasers and torpedoes. You have to cycle through 4 different phaser types or weapon types, as well as 3 different torpedo types, because the Borg will continually adapt to one, so you have to change to another one for it to be effective. So there is an element of actually paying attention, listening, and engaging brain, which is difficult for me in this day and age when there's so much going on. But yeah, back in these days, games were not like straightforward. There's a difficulty option, but you can't access it, so I'm not quite sure how that works. So yeah, that was difficult. I died. Teammates die and you fail and all that kind of stuff. The missions take time. So I have spent well over an hour in this game, and I think I got to like the 3rd or 4th mission. Fought Romulans, and the training mission itself was like half an hour. Flying through hoops is not the most fun thing in the world, and when you like mess around with the controls and then something like this happens.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that Worf countdown. Like, man is angry at me. I do apologise, Mr. Worf, but it's my first time. I'm so sorry that I went off the objective for like 5 seconds and therefore I couldn't complete the mission. That took me like 4 minutes to fly through 36 hoops. Come on now. I got the gist after like 10. Cut it down. So yes, Star Trek in name, it was generally favourably reviewed. Some people do remember it quite fondly. There's some people that say, yeah, great game. Other people say, good space fighting game, whatever you want to call that. Not necessarily a good Star Trek game. And that's exactly where I tend to agree. The music, not particularly Star Trek. The story is Star Trek, but it's not got that much feel of it, because obviously a lot of Star Trek, at least the stuff that I've watched, TNG, Deep Space Nine and Voyager, it's not all out war and stuff. Obviously the game is going to be a bit more like that. You're in a fighter and you're shooting stuff. That pretty much sums it up. But obviously there's a Star Trek element of it. There's a theme of the week, story of the week. You know, we're learning about morality and these difficult choices. And that's Star Trek. So yeah, it hasn't quite got that feel of it. Whilst you have got a couple of the actors from TNG lending their voices and give it a little bit of like presence and a little bit of credibility, it's not particularly Star Trek. And then looking at the cover, you know, fighters. I do believe that fighters are canon in the Star Trek universe and that Federation do have fighters. But please let me know an episode off the top of your head where they're shown or used. Star Trek, starships. Okay, Enterprises, Miranda classes, Sovereigns, Voyager, Intrepids, Galaxy classes, all that kind of stuff. They're all starships. And that is inherently the big thing. You know, the starship, and it's got its own story and character and everything. It's a big part of the show. And then you're just sat in a fighter, and I don't believe the fight changes at all. You just have access to different weapons. Stardate 54101.02. It's the 24th century. Borg vessels are rapidly approaching near space. Near space? I've never heard anything referred to as near space before. Romulans are suddenly attacking Federation vessels, and a respected Starfleet captain has turned renegade. Oh dear. It doesn't say oh dear. Taking his ship with him. As a hotshot pilot in the elite Red Squad Tactical Strike Force, that's a mouthful, under the command of Lieutenant Commander Worf, you must uncover the plot behind the deadly pattern of events and fight back to save the universe from a doomsday scenario, isn't it always? Flying a prototype single-seat combat fighter, codename Valkyrie, you and your squad members are in for the fight of your lives. Yeah, it's an Activision game, and I think the developer's called a Warthog by the looks of it. 1 or 2 players, it is technically 2 players, that's pretty cool. Oh, I would dread looking at 2 players on the screen. But yeah, first impressions, half decent. I want to put a little bit more time into it, but it's so long and laborious, especially in the early section, and then you die and you have to do the whole thing again. The mission again, at least. There are kind of like checkpoints. But yeah, tough game. It's cheap. If you want to go and get this, it's like a £5. So there's nothing against you picking it up. I now have 2 copies. You know, if I was a bit of a bigger channel, I'll be like, right, I'll give this away to whoever wants it kind of thing, but I don't know how to do any of that nonsense. And I am very antisocial, which is why I sit in front of the camera and don't talk to anyone. Yeah. So that's the game this week. Now, a little bit added on to the end of the video. Obviously, it's been like, for any subscribers that are like repeat viewers and all that kind of stuff, thank you so much for watching and hopefully sticking around and then clicking on this video as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. It's helping out massively. I think as of doing this video, I'm on 198 subscribers, which is amazing considering that I am a flipping imbecile. I finally got a microphone. Didn't even initially get it for this channel. I was doing it for like gym stuff. Yeah, so hopefully this sounds a bit better, or at least the audio is more consistent. It's always been a bugbear, especially when the camera's a bit further away than it is now. So yeah, hopefully the audio is okay. I might need to put the muff on it. Obviously I've not got the muff on it, so I might be like a bit harsh, a bit popping. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, things like that happen. You know, my passions went elsewhere, more into the gameplay. I've been focusing on my gameplay channel and getting back into the gym and stuff, and with a young family, trying to juggle 3 like different like YouTube avenues that I really want to pursue, as well as young family and a full-time job. It's a lot of hard work. So my aim, without putting too much pressure on myself, is going to be, there's a moth in my bloody shed, get out. My aim is going to be like a video a week with maybe a few shorts, just to keep that viewership going. For whatever reason, that CRT TV, this thing, the video that I did for this thing like months and months ago, is on like 5,000 views now or something like that, which is crazy. I've just been getting like loads of comments from like Americans saying, why does it look wrong? Why does it sound wrong? I couldn't play like that. I'm sorry, this is power, this is 50 hertz, it's slow. It's like take off a sixth, I assume, right, of the speed. I do apologise, my bad. I've never played it at what I assume is full speed, or heard it. I play Sonic, I'm like, yep, this is Sonic. But no, apparently it's all wrong. It is all wrong. and these people are getting their knickers in a twist, which is very funny. But it does lead me to go, oh, maybe I want like a modded Mega Drive or something. I want like a 60 hertz one or whatever. I want this, that, and the other. But for now, it's just like, chill. Money's tight, it's been going towards gym stuff and whatnot. Yeah, and I had a little bit of time last weekend, and I've had a change again. I don't know if you probably won't be able to see, but my retro consoles were up there. They are now per shelf, because the retro collection itself is not actually that big. It's a 360, which is a huge collection, but they're not that big. So I've organised the shelves and whatnot, butchered holes in the back of the car, the billy bookcases, and then fed all the wires through. So each one of these is all plugged in on a separate extension lead over there that I can turn on and off, all that kind of stuff, and all hooked up as well. All the leads are long enough to hook up to the CRT TV, so I can play any one that I want. I've done the same for the Xbox One here and fed it through the Elgato, and I'm super tempted to do the same for the Xbox 360, or one of them at least, and the PS3 as well, and just hook it all up to the monitor. Because the big TV in the lounge died after many years of good service, so we've had to then move the TV from the bedroom downstairs, move the Viera 32-inch whatever into our bedroom, and then I've moved my son's super old TV out into here. So now I've moved it all around. I now have much more view and access to this bookcase, which is awesome. And then yeah, I've just set it all up. I kind of really like it. I actually really like it, and it's super usable as well. But yeah, it's really cool, and I've like cable managed everything. I've cable managed all of the wires, at least as best as I can. There's like 1,000 wires. I've got a PC under here as well as all the stuff for the little stand here, where the 360 is, and the Wii is, and the PS3 is, and the PS2 is, and the TV is, and our TV box is, and the fan is, and the heater now, because it's practically winter. It's been like 4 degrees this week in the morning, so that's got to stay on every night, just as keeping it like 10 degrees or so. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.